Good day. Welcome to Leader's Edge. We are now on our season 6, episode 2. And tonight we have an amazing and wonderful guest. And he is the managing partner of Sales Edge Pro, a sales management consulting firm, Advoc Inc., a buzz marketing agency, Work in Progress Inc., a collaborative workspace and event venue, and Roundup.ph, an online entertainment magazine. He is a multi-award and SMI Certified Sales Professional and the country's leading sales management consultant and the author of Be Stupid, Be Selfish, Be Suicidal, Be Successful, a 2013 national bestseller, a featured entrepreneur in both Union Bank of the Philippines and 2011's annual report and 2012 edition of the Entrepreneur, the former host of SME Forum, a TV talk show that airs on Global News Network GNN, and a decorated and sought after motivational keynote speaker and corporate soft skills trainer. He happens to be my schoolmate as well, of course, higher batch. And to introduce to you a man with an explosive personality and explosive name, ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Boom San Agustin. Boom, good morning. How are you,
Hey,
Boom?
Sal, you put a little jab in there, no? You put a little jab in there. You said I'm a higher batch than you, right? Yeah. Don't worry, we know. You don't have to rub it in.
Yeah.
I'm great. And how are you, Sal?
Well,
How are
anyway,
you,
look,
Sal?
it's been, yeah, yeah. I'm doing great as well. It's been a long time since we talked,
Yes.
especially
Uh-huh.
in person. And right now we just meet again and
Mm-hmm.
here in Zoom. And I'm really
Mm-hmm.
excited of what you're going to talk about tonight
Okay.
because, like you, I am also in sales. And it's really amazing that while doing this interview with you, I'm going to learn as well. And I know that you are the most sought after trainer when it comes to sales. And it would be a pleasure to listen to your talk right now. And I believe that you're going to talk about sales pipeline and sales pipeline management. Am I correct?
That's that's right, Sassy. We're going to talk about sales pipeline management. It's a simple topic. It's basic, but here in the Philippines, especially with medium-sized companies, often salespeople ignore this very basic yet very important part of selling.
Yeah. And I'm really excited to know more about this. Boone. So if you can start, I want to listen right now. And
Okay.
I believe our 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 audience who
Mhm.
is probably in sales also
Mhm.
will learn a lot from this talk.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sassy. And is it okay if I show you some slides because it's really good with a visual? Is it okay? All right.
Okay,
So
please do.
all right. So let me get the slideshow on the road. Hold on. Okay. So as you can see here, it's a little intro to what I'm going to say. Effective sales pipeline management. I really prepared these slides for you. For you. Okay. So let's see. All right. So first of all, let's explain what a sales pipeline is. How does it work? Ano? Okay. So this pretend that this is a funnel. Okay. And these are your suspects. Now you might be asking, what is a suspect? These are potential prospects. Anybody you see who might be a client. Okay. But some of them are not qualified to be your clients. Okay. Eventually you start to how do you say this, you start to determine that some of them are potential clients, so they become prospects. They're no longer suspects. And what do you do with the prospects? You place them above the funnel. You don't put them into the funnel yet. Okay. So by the way, you can ask me any question if I know. Okay. So for this type, to determine what they prospects, you call them information qualified lead. Ibig sabihin, here you can already ask for their cards, you can ask for their information, meaning this is the time for you to be able to gather information about these people, okay, when they become your prospects. Okay, so any questions so far?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so then you remove the suspects that are not qualified whatsoever, and you start by bringing the prospects into the funnel. Okay, like setting an initial appointment, meaning you've already gathered information, so you make your appointment. If they agree to an initial appointment, they are now called continuance qualified leads, or CQL, meaning these are your warm. There's a bigger potential now for you to get them through the funnel. Eventually, you might need more than one appointment. By the way, the reason why I put third and fourth appointment, because if you don't get to the negotiation part by the third appointment, it's a red flag already. Na this client might not really be interested. They just entertained you. Okay, so now the next part is to give them a proposal. Many times, and here is what I've noticed with certain salespeople, with many salespeople, nauuna yung proposal. Okay, they send the proposal immediately. So, the client says, "Oh, can you just leave a proposal?" Okay, and then they just send the proposal. And what if you had 100 products? You're gonna send a proposal for 100 products. Okay, you don't even know what the client needs. And what does the client do with a proposal for 100 products? They throw it in the garbage can. They don't even notice you. The best way to do it is first to get an appointment and then make a proposal. The appointment doesn't even need to be physical appointment. It can be on Zoom. It can be a phone call, a phone appointment. This will do, This will do before you make your proposal, so that you will be able to streamline what your client needs. Once they ask for a proposal, once it's a real, genuine request for a proposal or RFP, okay, you're now in the negotiation stage, which is NQL, negotiation qualified lead. After that, you start your negotiation, then you close the sale, and then they're a customer. In that case, we call this a win. Okay, so far so good, Sassy?
Yes. I just have a question.
Sure. Go ahead.
Now, there are a lot of salespeople that I have known, and the challenges they have are different. Some are getting a hard time having an appointment. Some getting a hard time saying no to giving a proposal. How to counter that? Can you give us an example on how to counter such question from a client when probably they just don't want to talk to that person for a while, and then they will just say, just send me a proposal. How do you counter that?
Well, I usually, well, it depends first on one, who I'm talking to. Am I talking to the gatekeeper, or am I talking to the decision maker already, who I'm already talking to? Second, it also depends on how far in I am in the conversation. But usually it goes like this. Okay, it also depends on the different types of products, because different types of products are handled differently. Okay, so let's say I'm selling trucks, which I used to sell. Okay, selling trucks, and the client says, just leave a proposal just leave me a proposal. Let's just say I'm talking to the decision maker, and then I would say, oh, that would be great, sir. I will leave you a proposal, but can I ask a few questions first?
Yes, go ahead.
And then, no, I that's what I say. Can I ask you a few questions first? Okay, and then the client will say, yeah. The client will usually say yes. It's okay. What type of trucks do you need? Okay, what type of trucks do you use? And then the client will say, wait, I'm a little busy now. Is it okay if I talk to the person who handles your truck purchase? And then now I have an endorsement from the top management to the person who's purchasing the trucks. And that person is more likely to answer me. Now, if I'm talking to the gatekeeper, I do the same process, except a little different. I would say, would you have the information for this? Because we have about 100 different trucks, different types of trucks. I want to know what type of truck do you use. And if they happen to say, we use 10-wheelers. Oh yeah, what type of 10-wheelers? What is the power of the engine? What is the torque? I get technical with them. Okay, and then they say, I don't know the answer to that. Is it okay if I talk to somebody who does know the answer to this? Maybe you can set an appointment for me with that person. And usually and then after you ask the question, you keep quiet. Don't make follow-up. Is it okay if I talk with somebody who knows about the product? And then you stay absolutely silent. And you can see the pressure of the silence. And then they eventually they give up. And then they point you to a person. Maybe it's not the right person, but you're a step closer. Okay, you're a step closer. So it's basically how you ask the questions. You try to make it. Now, if you're asking technical questions and they can answer it, then maybe you're talking to the right person. Okay, so in any case, it's usually asking the right questions. Okay, did I get your did
Yes.
I answer your question? Cool.
Yes, thank you very much. And I'm sure for those who are having a hard time saying or countering this type of question from the prospect, then you can do what Boom just told us a while ago. Now, Boom, please do continue.
Okay, sure. Okay, so now this portion from suspect to CQL, this is called lead generation because you're generating leads. Okay, you're generating leads. This part from CQL to win, this is called lead nurturing because this is inaalagaan mo yung leads dito. This is where you take care of the leads so that they will grow or they will make a commitment with you. Now, lead nurturing is divided into two again, demand generation and commitment generation. Demand generation means you make them want your product. Okay, you make them want your product. Commitment generation is you make them want to buy from you. Okay, so it's very important for us in lead generation. You need to have lead evaluation skills, meaning this is a step above qualifying. If you're familiar with qualifying, meaning when you qualify a client, you qualify them to become your client. But here, they're already qualified clients. So now you need to evaluate them. You have to go above qualifying. Okay? And then when you're in the negotiation stage, you need your negotiation skills. Okay? So if you can see here, this is your entire sales process right here for account acquisition. You know? Now, let's just do a review. IQL, these are your cold leads. Okay. Yes. Okay, not many people use that. Tapos, yung CQL, these are your warm leads. Okay? And after that, NQL, these are your hot leads. Now, dito natin nahuhuli ang mga ahente. Kasi most of the time, salespeople, they say, sir, this is a hot lead. This is a hot lead. But when you scrutinize them, it's probably even a cold lead. Ano? They just shook their hand or they just smiled in their face or they were just nice to this person. And suddenly, you put them already as hot leads. They're not yet hot leads. Okay? So, when you see this process, it's now easier to define. So, now that we've defined what a sales funnel does, let's show you how to manage it. Of course, like everything in sales, it's a numbers game. Okay? So let's look at how you manage it. First, let's go to your IQL, then your CQL, your NQL, and your wins. But I'll add another box here. This is called the recycle bin. Okay.
Oh,
So how do you start? The first one is, okay, so you get your prospects. So these are all your prospects. You see the little circles there. These are your these are your prospects. Okay. Now some of them will agree to an appointment. So you put them in CQL. Others won't. Where do you put them? You put them in your recycle bin, meaning you'll use them again eventually. Kasi na-IQL mo na. These are qualified clients. You just don't throw them away, right? Okay. Then you
yeah.
repeat the process. Some of them will go into the negotiation stage. Some of them won't. And those that won't, you put them into the recycle bin. Okay. Some of the negotiations you will win and some you won't. Okay. And those you don't, you put them back in the recycle bin. And then eventually after a few months, some of those in your recycle bin will become active again. That's why I shaded them as blue. So once they're active again, you put them back into the IQL column together with your new prospects. So they're prospects again,
Okay.
right? So now they can go through the pipeline again. Now, you might be asking, what happens to the wins? Okay, what happens to the wins? What happens to these? They're already your clients, right? So what happens to the
Yeah.
wins? They if your type of product is something that the customer continues to buy or needs repeat order, they go into what we call account management. Okay, so they pass into the account management process. And then there are two criteria for your account management because you're going to rank your account management clients. The first is performance. And for your performance, A is high performing accounts, B are mid performing accounts, and C are low performing accounts. Okay? Now, how you determine that? That's how your company determines that. Iba-iba for different industries. Now, potential is the same thing, except this time it's 1, 2, and 3. Okay? And you put all of that together, you rank your clients one at a time, and you'll see you'll have a different type of ranking in a 9 grid. Okay, so let's go to your 9 grid. So there's performance at the side and potential on top. And now you have a grid. So you have A3 clients. A3 clients are clients who are high performers. They buy volumes from you, but they can't grow anymore. Very low potential na. Wala nang potential halos to grow. A1 clients are those that give you a lot of volume, yet still have room to grow. Okay? So in this one, you'll see there are C3. They give you very little and they have no room to grow. So now you have a chance to create different strategies for each of these items. Okay, so how will you treat your A3s versus your C3s or your A1s? So now the company can determine strategies as to how you and when you implement those strategies, some will start to buy again. And what happens? You go back to the sales pipeline. So here they are. Where do you put them now? You don't put them back in the IQL. Since they're already your clients, they either go to the CQL or your NQL. Okay, and now you have a well-rounded pipeline. Okay, this is how that works. Okay, so do you have any questions so far?
Yeah, actually, I'm really enjoying this because
Mhm,
um, from warm lead, from cold lead to warm lead to hot lead to win.
mhm,
I also have this kind of idea, but it's quite different. I don't have
mhm,
this the recycle bin, and it's quite refreshing to know that there is a recycle bin because we all know that we have a warm lead
mhm.
that can go cold. So I
Yes.
thought before I'll just have to heat it up to make it warm again. I never
Mhm,
thought that we have to go put it in the recycle bin. And even though we have a hot lead, it goes warm until cold. So yeah, this is quite refreshing for me, and I'm really seeing the logic of what you are giving us today. So please do continue.
Oh, okay. Now it's important to measure success in managing your KPIs, in managing
Yeah.
your sales funnel, okay, or your sales pipeline, there are many KPIs or key performance indexes that you can use to determine success or how this agent is successful in what they do in their jobs. Okay, and many smaller companies don't even know how to use the basics of this. These the ones I'll give you now, Sassy. These are basic,
Okay.
by standards of other countries like India and America and Singapore. These are basic. But for many Filipino companies, what I'm going to show you next are not even implemented.
Oh,
Okay, so here are some common, like I said, common KPIs. They're not they're not uncommon. So here's the first one: batting average or concern. Ito lang. Doesn't isn't it logical to know what your batting average is? Like in basketball,
yeah.
you take 10 shots, you make 3, that's 30%. So you're a 30% shooter, let's just say. Okay? So now you know already what areas you need to improve, right? So isn't it logical that you have a conversion rate or a batting average? And yet,
Yes.
how many companies actually do that? Okay. Another one, yung pipeline lifespan is how many visits it takes or how many meetings it takes for you to close the account. Let's just say you have 10 salespeople, and on an average, it takes about 4 meetings to close an account. Okay, it takes about 4 meetings to close an account. And this only applies to the accounts that are closed, okay, that are won. Okay, so um, when pero you have an agent who takes 7 meetings to close an account, there's something wrong, right? Because they're all selling the same product, and the average is that people are closing accounts in just 4 meetings, and you have somebody who comes in at 7. Now, why is this important? Because there's more cost. He generates twice the cost to close one account than the average agent. So mas nalulugi siya. Hindi lang yun, mas nalulugi yung company. When he could be closing 2 accounts, he's only closing 1. Okay, so the pipeline lifespan is very, very important because we have to know the average of visits it takes to close accounts. And if your average is on the high, that's bad. Okay, so you can choose to include phone calls and other types of visits if you want to. But when I was still a sales manager, all we implemented were actual face-to-face visits. Nowadays, with the pandemic, we can choose to do something different. Another one, qualifying accuracy. Meaning, pinasok mo nga sa warm lead o pinasok mo nga sa cold lead. Pero are they qualified? Okay, UL means unqualified or underqualified leads. Okay, so 1 minus unqualified leads divided, but there's a formula there, okay, plus qualified leads. Okay, so by doing this formula, you will come up with an efficiency rate of how well they profile or how well they qualify their clients. Okay, now if they have a very low, let's say their qualifying accuracy is at only 30%, meaning baka puro fake lang ang pinapasok niya na accounts para lang may pasok sa pipeline. Kasi 3 out of 10 eh. Di ba? So you're saying, why are you putting these people in the pipeline? They're unqualified, they're underqualified pa nga. What are you doing? So now you have some basis to teach the person. Okay, you're doing it wrong. Maybe you can do it this way. So now you as the sales manager, as this experienced person, you can tell them already, maybe you're doing it wrong. Maybe I can help you. Let's visit your client and see what you do. Okay? So now you have that. Another one, and you can have many KPIs, by the way. These are only 4 that I'm showing you. New prospects, meaning how many IQLs? How many people do you put in the IQL? Okay? Kasi your IQLs will probably determine your outcome. Now this whole thing helps a sales manager forecast. Ano? Can you imagine? Now you know what your warm leads are, you know what your hot leads are, you know what's in the pipeline. And if you know what's in the pipeline, you can make accurate sales forecasts for the next cutoff, for the next year. Ano? Because if you manage your pipeline well, forecasting your sales is just second nature. Okay. Do you want to see this at work? I'll show you.
Yeah, please.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll just
please.
show you. Okay. Let's just say that I invented the name, Cindy Casino. These are her KPIs. Okay, the ones in red, these are the ones in danger. Bakit? The quota is 10, and the company standard is 10, but she only hit 6 units. Okay? The batting average is pretty good. She's pretty good at batting average, and her pipeline lifespan is pretty short, meaning very good. Okay, 4 meetings, whereas the company's standard is only 5 to 6. So this person has talent. What is she lacking? Her qualifying accuracy is at 49, where the company's is at 92. Meaning she's not getting qualified clients. There's something wrong. As a manager, Sassy, it's easier now to manage this person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and you can do it with another one, okay? Vic Arce, again, another invented name. So here you can see that, let's say from the same company, okay? You can see that Vic has a different story. He doesn't know how to close, but his qualifying accuracy is pretty good. It means the accounts he puts in are there, but he doesn't put in that many to begin with. Okay, and his batting average, his closing is it needs something to be desired. So now you know what to work on. Okay, so this is just a sample. Now that's the end of the entire presentation right there.
Okay.
Okay, so
That was interesting.
I hope you enjoyed that. I'll stop my share now.
Yes. Boom, actually, I think you're right. This is something that most managers need, especially those who are handling a lot of salespeople. Like, yeah, it's going to be, their operation is going to be surgical, meaning they will be able to pinpoint already how to help the salesperson. Like for me, I have a sales manager, and if there's something wrong, he just asks me, "What do you think happened? Do you think this is a-" so it taking us almost all day to figure out what's wrong. But
Mhm.
with this type of system, I think this is going to cut down the work of a manager, and it's going to be more effective for them to help the sales person.
Yeah, they will be more efficient in what they do actually. What the thing is, this is not new. The sales pipeline, you've heard of it, we've heard of it, and gosh, we're not that young. Okay, so this is not new. This is not a new tool for people to use. Sales people around the world have been using this for so long, and yet, and you can see it on the internet every day. There's no secret to using this, you know. But I'm very sad that when I go to I give sales seminars, and the first thing I ask them is, what's your batting average, or what is your conversion rate? And then they say, sir, siguro mga 10%. How do you know that? Okay, so they don't know. I ask them simple. Okay, how many visits does it take you to
Yeah.
close an account? And they don't know the answer to that. Okay, I ask them, how do you manage your sales pipeline? And they don't know the answer to that. And this is like, I would have to say 7 out of 10 companies. The only companies that actually do are those big companies with CRMs. Okay, but when you have a medium to small company, they don't know. They can't tell. The sales manager was promoted because he was the best salesperson, but he doesn't have the tools to manage his people because he doesn't know what the sales pipeline is. And probably I hope for the people who are listening to this talk, I hope that they will see the importance of managing your sales pipeline.
Yeah. Yeah. uh, because it occurred to me that I'm planning to become a unit manager within
Mhm,
this year
mhm.
or early next year. And I think this is serendipitous for me to interview you, and everything that you're going to talk about is something that I want to use when I'm there.
You
I
should, you
think this
should.
will help me a lot.
Mhm. You should.
Yeah. I will definitely try this once I get there.
If you're going to get into it, this outline that I gave you, this is not everything. You might be wondering, how do you qualify a client? Okay. I have not mentioned that in this one. Okay. Or what do you do to increase your batting average?
Mhm.
Or
Yeah,
what do you do to make a good sales presentation? All of that we can discuss, but it might take too long. Okay. But here's the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
What I do kasi in my consultancies, I take old tools and make them new. Okay. Like the sales pipeline. Okay.
Okay.
Um, it's an old tool, and I bring it to the modern age, and I create all this graphic for it so that people will see it as a new thing. Okay, I'll give you another example. AIDA, or AIDA. Okay, if you're familiar with it, it's a sales presentation tool. Attention, interest, desire, and action. Okay, now that tool is so old, yet it can be used in social media marketing. It can be used in social selling. It can be used in online tracking. It can be used in writing your emails. It can be used in writing your sales letters. It can be used in face-to-face presentations with your clients. In fact, everybody that I've taught AIDA to has increased their batting average by a lot. Okay. So there are so many old tools that can be adapted to something new today. And that's basically
Okay.
how I run my consulting. So
Boom.
where's your I mean, where do you work, Sassy?
Oh, I'm with Sunlight.
Insure. Yeah, you could use this. Maybe not the account
Yes.
management part, but
Yes. Oh,
the pipeline part definitely. Uh,
yes. Let me ask you a question. Some
mhm,
people, I'm sure, they have a different technique, and
mhm,
your pipeline technique seem really uh, very interesting. How can
mhm.
you compare this with other techniques?
Well, this is the basis of all their techniques. Meaning, look at your CRM. If you use a CRM in Sun Life, I don't know if you do, but if you use a CRM or a customer relationship management software like Salesforce or Sugars or HubSpot, okay. If you use these CRMs, you will see that the basic structure of the CRM is exactly the sales pipeline. They tweak it a little, they probably cut a little here, they probably add something there, but the basic structure is the sales pipeline. You will see they talk about conversion rates, they talk about customer lifespan. Okay, they talk about or the sales lifespan. They use technically different names, but to describe the same thing. So if you know the basic sales pipeline management, any CRM is easy to use. So there's nothing really new about what they're doing. They're just renaming it. Like when they say it's
Mhm.
cloud based, it's just a new name to say that they saved it on the internet, on a remote server. That's all they're doing. So they use these catchphrases, these names, to make it sound new. Okay, so that's all
Okay.
there is. But then,
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
Okay.
Mhm.
So boom. Uh,
Mhm.
what tip can you give to us
Mhm.
to make the transition to pipeline tool easier for others who may be used to another technique?
Well, simply do it. I mean, you're already doing it in one form or another. Okay, you're already doing it in one form or another. So basically, this is just a way to organize what you're doing. I mean, since you're already doing it, all you have to do is write it down, right? So if you're going to write it down, if
Yes.
you're write it down in this way. That's all. Okay, so it's the transition shouldn't be that hard. The transition shouldn't be that hard. List down all your clients
Okay.
right now, everyone you're about to follow up, everyone you're about to call, and then put them in their necessary pipeline. Here's a tip. Here's a tip. Use index. If you don't have the online tools, use index cards. They work. Yeah, and then you put them in different. You put them in different boxes. IQL, CQL, NQL, win, and then recycle. Okay, so you just put the index cards in different boxes. It works exactly the same way.
Yes. Old school.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the Rolodex.
Yeah, the Rolodex. Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Pero honestly, it still works. It's just that the online tools
Yes.
have turned it into online things, but that's it.
Yeah, it's just like renaming it or redoing it.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, Zoom, boom. I called you Zoom. Boom.
That's okay.
We are now in the pandemic.
Mhm.
We are now in the pandemic. Still in the pandemic. And can you give an advice, especially for the new salespeople, as how to pivot from online pitches, from person to person meeting and sales pitch to online pitches?
Okay. Um, First things first. You have to change your mindset. Okay? Online isn't bad. In fact, I would have to say there are a lot of advantages to online. Okay, like let's say this meeting, I can have one 5 minutes right after this meeting. I can have another meeting in 5 minutes, right? So I can have more
Yes.
meetings a day because of the online structure. Just imagine that. So instead of looking at the glass half empty, look at the glass half full. Look at the advantages of selling online. Look at the advantages of doing it online. Number one, you get more meetings. Number two, it's cost efficient. Okay, it's cost efficient. You don't have to travel. Okay. Number three, it's stress. It also alleviates a lot of stress. Number four, you can manage your time more efficiently online. Okay. Now, if you're afraid to use the tools, then my only advice is to keep using it. Why? Fear goes away with practice. Fear goes away with practice. Now, another thing, it's easier to
Okay.
talk to the president of a company online. It's easier to talk to the president of a company online rather than face to face. Believe me. It's easier to talk to higher management online. The fear factor for talking with them is much less. Okay, much less than if you were to go there face to face. And they're not in their element the same way. Okay, so it's a lot, and your presentations are a lot better now because you can actually bring a PowerPoint slide. You can actually show them videos. You don't have to bring your computer and then open it and then show them that. No more. You don't need to bring physical brochures. You can show them online. Okay, it's so it makes
Okay.
it
Yeah.
makes your selling, your communicating actually easier. The only difficulty in the pandemic is that the companies you used to go to are also suffering money wise. That's the only downside. That's the only downside. The others are all up.
Yes.
Okay, the others are all are all positives. Now that one downside can be overcome. That one downside can be overcome by adding more clients. So your clients are suffering a little bit, but if you have instead of 4 suffering clients, you now have 10 suffering clients. At least those 10 can buy little by little from you, and you still get your sales. Okay, so it's easier to do it, to think of it as something
Okay.
negative. Okay, but the only real way is to add more clients. That's all, and the tools will help you.
Okay. So add. Yes. I think some people are having a hard time with online because there are some salespeople who really um, make good sales because they can see signals, the nonverbal signals. And since in virtual room, it's hard to pick up those signals because all you can see are the face, and somehow you can see how the fingers flick or how the the knees
Okay, then
vibrate or something. So that I think that is the only thing that it makes them really hard to sell.
you have to change the signals you're looking for. How? Ask different questions. Okay, if you ask questions, even if you don't see the face, the way they answer will be a signal to you. Okay, yung tells, yung sinasabi mo, poker tells, di ba? Like this guy scratches his head, or
Yes.
this guy touches his nose. Okay, there are many salespeople who are excellent poker players, let's just say. Okay, but here's the thing: now that you can't see them, what do you do about it? You just change the tells. And if you ask the right questions, the tells come in through the ear this time. Now, it might be a challenge trying to adapt yourself to new tells. Okay, a challenge to try to adapt yourself to see new signals. But with practice, you can get to it. At first, I'm also a face-to-face guy. I like to shake the hand and feel I feel the grip, so I know this person. I know by the grip alone if this person is a more assertive person, if the person's more laid back, if the person's more strict. Just the grip, okay? But now I don't have the grip, so I have to ask questions, and how they answer questions already tells me exactly what I need to know. So if the only tools you have are your voice and your ears, okay, then use that well. Remember Daredevil? You know this comic book character, Daredevil from Marvel? He's blind, but he became a superhero. Why? Because his other senses, his hearing,
Yeah.
and when he speaks, it echoes back. His echolocation suddenly replaced his sight. Okay, it's the same when you have a blind people. Suddenly their hearings become more acute. Okay, so if now they took away your sight, now they took away your feel, the only thing you have your ears and your mouth. What are you gonna do? Diba? Train your ears and your mouth. That's it.
Yeah. I think it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of millennials right now who are in sales who can close deals just by messenger.
Yeah.
They don't even
Amazing,
talk.
no? Amazing, no?
Yeah, so yeah, and in the 70s, 80s, some people can close sales just on the telephone.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. I know. It's just a
So
matter of yeah.
yeah, yeah, you are correct.
So okay. So anyway,
Oh, by
is
the
there
way,
any yeah,
Zoom.
yeah. Boom.
Yeah, I have a sorry, boom. Uh, you're becoming technical. Boom. Um, I have a text question. I just have to read it to you.
Mhm.
Please ask Boom. Um, have you seen SAP adapted to the pipeline method? And
Yeah.
have you seen it applied seamlessly?
Not seamlessly. Okay.
The software that
Yeah.
automates.
I know. SAP is and I know people in SAP are going to hate me for this, but SAP is like a giant, big mechanical monster. Okay. I guess it works for like the US because they have They have a customization team in the US, but for people in the Philippines, it's pretty hard to adapt SAP because once they need something customized, they send the request to SAP Philippines, and then they have to wait a few months, maybe 2 months at the least, you know? And then when the customization comes back, it's not the right customization. It's really hard, especially if they're not located here, if they don't have a team dedicated here. Now, now to adapt the pipeline, sales and Salesforce and SAP are connectable. Okay, I'm not paid by Salesforce. Okay, I'm just telling you. You can connect your Salesforce.com with your SAP. Here's the drawback: Salesforce and SAP are very, very expensive programs. Uber expensive. If you're a medium-sized company, I don't think that would work. What I think you should try doing is probably well, to also help the local industry. Maybe you should get somebody in the local industry to customize it. Okay, to create your own CRM. Now, if you're not sure about creating your own CRM, that's where I come in. Okay, I can talk to the person creating your CRM and make sure the pipeline is in there. Okay, so just showing them that, they will know already and what types of reports they need to do. By the way, Sales Edge Pro is coming up with our own CRM plugging. Okay, we're coming up with our own CRM. So wait for it. We're still in the beta testing stage. Okay, we're still in the beta testing stage. So, but if you don't want to get ours, it's okay. Don't get ours.
That's amazing.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, we've had a lot of time, Sashi. So we're going to have a lot to talk about
I
after
think this
this.
is one of the most productive conversations I have or interview.
Good. Thank you. I like that. Thank you very much. Okay.
Oh, by the way, Zoom, you have any other, you want to plug anything or to other than your CRM in beta? Is there anything that
you don't have okay, you don't have to get the CRM. But if you have problems with sales, if you have a problem with selling, or if your management needs to upgrade their sales, or if you want the full implementation of your sales pipeline and your account management, then don't hesitate to reach out to me. Okay, well, connect with me on LinkedIn. All you have to do is type Boom San Agustin in Google, and my LinkedIn comes in. Okay, so you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I will accept. I always accept. You can communicate with me on LinkedIn. At least with LinkedIn, I know it's official. Or you can send me an email at boom8088@gmail.com. Boom, BOOM 8088 at gmail.com. Or you can call me at 0966 348 7067.
Okay, thank you very much, Boom. Any last message for the audience?
Okay, just one. Remember, as salespeople, our main job is to solve problems. The sale comes after. If you solve the client's problem, you make a sale. So remember, every purchase was meant to solve a problem. Even socks, even blankets, even a watch, even makeup, all purchases were made to solve problems. Solve the problem, get the sale.
Thank you very much, Boom. And it's always been a pleasure talking with you, and I'm really glad that we did this interview today. And with that, folks, we're done with our season 6, episode 2. In episode 3, you will be able to watch a very amazing lady who's going to talk about meaningful transitions, and it's going to be hosted by Tina Loomis, and our guest is Lina P. Santiago Policarpio. Please do wait for that episode. And for those who tuned in and haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Just click the button, click the bell as well, so you will be alarmed if there are any new videos coming up. To all our audience, learning is a never-ending journey with limitless vistas. Boom, thank you very much for this wonderful interview.
See you, Sassy. I hope to see you again
See you.
soon.
Oh,
Bye.
sure. Yes.